Happy Friday morning, Boilers. It's October 27th, and I'm John Waterworth.
And I'm Anna Kudo. Here's a look at this week's top stories. It's been more than 24 hours since Maine officials say they got the first calls about a shooter at a Lewiston, Maine bowling alley. 12 minutes later, more calls. This time about a shooter at a bar and grill 10 minutes away.
Officials say 18 victims died, 13 more are wounded, and the gunman reported in those calls remains on the loose. Mike Valerio has more from Lewiston about the manhunt mixed with grief.
It was hard enough to listen to Leroy Walker's pain Thursday as he waited for news of his son, a bar manager at work the night before when a man began shooting.
When you get anything that happens like this, you go empty.
But on top of that pain, where Lewiston's local hospital received 14 patients in 45 minutes, where a middle school turned into a reunification center where not everyone was reunited.
Lewiston is a fairly small city, and to think that this is in our own backyard is just very hard to comprehend.
Police say the suspect, 40-year-old Robert Card, faces an arrest warrant on multiple murder charges. Law enforcement officials say he's a military-trained arms instructor who had been committed to a mental health facility for 2 weeks over the summer. Thursday, many area schools and businesses closed as the manhunt expanded.
This is a dark day for Maine.
We're learning the names of the victims. 53-year-old Tricia Aslin was trying to call for help at the bowling alley when she was killed, her brother said. 40-year-old Brian McFarland was participating in a cornhole tournament at the bar and grill, according to his sister. And Leroy Walker discovered his son, Joseph, had died. Police told the family that Joseph used a butcher knife trying to stop the gunman.
Trying to save some more lives that he ended up losing his life.
In Lewiston, Maine, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
At least 80 FBI agents are involved in the search for Card. Lewiston Mayor Carl Schellen has ordered residents to shelter in place as law enforcement searches for the 40-year-old Army reservist.
The U.S. has carried out airstrikes in eastern Syria at two facilities linked to Iranian-backed militias. According to Pentagon officials, the strikes targeted a weapons storage facility and an ammunition storage facility in retaliation. The facilities were used by Iranian forces to help carry out attacks on U.S. forces over the last few days. On Thursday, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the strikes were in self-defense and they are separate from the ongoing conflict in Gaza. According to U.S. officials, there have been at least 16 attacks across Iraq and Syria against U.S. forces since October 17th. The last known U.S. strike against Iranian-backed militias in the region occurred in March. The military struck a facility it said was used by groups affiliated with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It is unclear of any casualties.
Louisiana Republican Mike Johnson has been elected as House Speaker. His election Wednesday ended a saga of more than 3 weeks as the GOP conference cycled through 3 other nominees. Johnson earned 220 votes, drawing unanimous Republican support. Johnson's election as House Speaker now allows the chamber to get back to work, of which there is much to deal with. That includes another looming government shutdown by the middle of next month. There's also the reality of 2 wars and how the House might deal with funding support for Ukraine and Israel. After the tally, he spoke to the chamber.
We want our allies around the world to know that this body of lawmakers is reporting again to our duty stations. Let the enemies of freedom around the world hear us loud and clear. The People's House is back in business.
President Biden congratulated Johnson's Speaker election while noting Congress needs to move quickly to address the debt crisis and national security issues.
We've seen some nice summer-like days this past few weeks, but will the warm temperatures stick around? Fast Track's Julia Prickett joins us in the studio to talk about the forecast. What do we have, Julia?
Well, this looks to be our really last day here in the 70s before we see a significant decrease in temperatures due to a cold front coming in. So for today in West Lafayette, cloudy skies, high of 76 degrees with a low of 45. Wind speeds anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts in the 20s. Chances of rain for today about 40%, anywhere after 6 p.m. tonight till about midnight, and going into our hourly forecast for today. So let's time out a little bit of these rain chances. 11 a.m. 67 degrees will quickly increase in temperatures by 5 p.m. with 76 being our high for the day, then will decrease significantly to about 58 by midnight tonight. Chances of rain pretty significant for the most part, but I'll break it all down my full forecast when you can expect the best rain chances. Back to Anna and John.
Thank you, Julia. A young woman's parents are suing Panera after their 21-year-old daughter died from cardiac arrest after drinking what the restaurant calls charged lemonade. Sarah Katz knew she had a heart condition known as long QT syndrome. She took medication to control it and limited her caffeine intake. Her parents claim that Panera failed to specify how much caffeine is actually in the drink, only saying that the company says it's comparable to dark roast coffee. Panera's website indicates a 30-ounce serving of charged lemonade contains 390 milligrams of caffeine. That's slightly less than the 400 milligrams per day the FDA says is safe for healthy adults. Katz was a member of Panera's Sip Club, which allows free refills. So it's not clear exactly how much of the drink she had.
Drugs and depression. An off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot told investigators those were factors in an incident on Sunday when he is accused of attempting to shut off a plane's engines mid-flight.
Now that he's been arraigned on dozens of felony charges, the true scope of the pilot's mental health battle is coming into focus. Laura Aguirre brings us the latest developments.
He looked dead in the eyes almost, and the flight attendant got back on and told us he had a mental breakdown.
That's how some passengers describe 44-year-old Joseph Emerson, the off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot accused of trying to shut down a plane's engines during a flight this past Sunday. The aircrew acted quickly, and Emerson was taken into police custody after the plane was diverted to Portland, Oregon. Court records reveal Emerson told authorities he took psychedelic drugs in the form of magic mushrooms 48 hours before boarding flight 2059. The documents show Emerson also said he'd been battling depression and hadn't slept for about 40 hours leading up to the incident. The court filings go on to read that Emerson told officials he felt like he was dreaming while riding in the cockpit's jump seat, and that by grabbing the handles of a fire suppression system, ones that shut off fuel to the engines, he would be able to wake up. The plane's captain and first officer physically restrained Emerson, who then agreed to leave the cockpit, according to legal filings. Alaska Air said on Tuesday they had no known issues with Emerson, and FAA records show Emerson held a first-class medical certificate, the highest level given by the administration. Emerson pleaded not guilty to dozens of state charges Tuesday, including 83 counts of attempted murder, as this case shines a brighter light on aviation and mental health.
I hope he gets the help he needs, but I also don't think it's acceptable for a pilot to do this.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Along with the 83 state felony counts of attempted murder, Emerson is charged with 83 counts of reckless endangerment and 1 federal count of endangering an aircraft.
Emerson is currently being held without bail, and online records do not list an attorney. The oldest dog in the world has died. According to Guinness World Records, Bobby from Portugal was 31 and a half. Not only was he the oldest dog when he passed away, but he was the longest living dog ever. Bobby was lucky to have made it to his first birthday. He was born at the home of the Costa family, who planned to get rid of Bobby along with the rest of the litter because the family couldn't afford any more pets. But one of the sons, Lionel Costa, hid one puppy from his parents, and when they eventually found out about Bobby, they said he could stay. The dog roamed free outside his whole life with other animals and a lot of feline friends. Lionel believes Bobby's diet was one of the reasons for his long life. The dog ate whatever the family ate.
Up next, the United Auto Workers Union has reached a tentative deal that could bring strikers back to work.
When the deal goes into effect and how much it's worth, coming up after this quick break.
Being involved in the 3-year program at Purdue made it easier to say to myself I could get done in 3 years. The 3-year program helped save me a ton of money. Not completing my 4th year, I would save around $30,000. It will give you an advantage, if anything. Doing the 3-year program at Purdue has shown me that I have motivation to do whatever it takes to get my degree.
Hi there, my name is Vikram Jaithlak and I'm the founder and president of the Purdue chapter of the University Blood Initiative. Over the past 2 years, we've been able to collect over 300 pints of blood to be donated to local hospitals, and you can be the next one to help out.
I donate my blood at the University Blood Initiative.
Hi, I just donated blood through the University Blood Initiative.
Hi, I just donated blood through the University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
Right, I donated my blood through the University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
And I donated my blood at University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
Are you looking for a new hobby?
Or do you want to have a fun evening with your friends?
Then come climb to new heights at the Co-Rec Climbing Wall.
Football. It's the best time of the year. You know what else is great? The world's largest and fastest mascot. You can't have Purdue football without the trains. Look for the Reamer Club outside Stewart Center, 12 to 5 p.m. on Fridays before home football games, for your chance to ride the Boilermakers Special for free. See you then!
You're watching Fast Track News.
Welcome back. Taking a look at today's conditions, a high of 76 degrees here in Lafayette with a low of 45. Wind speeds anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour with chances of rain about 40% today on Purdue's campus. So taking a look again at our hourly forecast, 11 a.m. this morning, 67 degrees will quickly increase in temperatures to our high about 76 degrees by 3 p.m. And then to our overnight hours, we'll get into the mid-50s with chances of rain anywhere from 6 p.m. to midnight tonight. For tomorrow, the Purdue Boilermakers take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers in Lincoln, Nebraska at Memorial Stadium. So here is your football forecast. 9 a.m. 31 degrees. It's certainly going to be a chilly one up in Nebraska. By game time, 3:30 is set for kickoff. Rain and snow mix is likely in the forecast, a high of 35 degrees. And then by the overnight hours, it'll be significantly chilly with 31 degrees overnight. So if you are headed to Nebraska to watch the Boilermakers, I recommend bringing a jacket, gloves, scarves, hat. It's certainly going to be a chilly one. So taking a look now at our weekend outlook for the rest of this weekend. For Friday, 76 degrees with a low of 45 to recap. For Saturday and Sunday, pretty similar story overall. Saturday, showers are likely in the evening, 57 degrees being our high with a low of 47. And by Sunday, all-day showers are likely, high of 51 degrees with the low of 33. And with those lows in the 30s, you could see some possible frost. So let's go ahead and time out your best chances of getting rain this weekend. So our national forecast, this is our Midwest forecast for the most part. This is Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, you could see the system around Illinois and Missouri that's going to start to push east, that it will make reach to us about Sunday morning, afternoon hours anywhere from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And as you can see, this becomes more widespread as we develop more rain chances with more rain showers coming down. And then by Sunday afternoon into the evening hours, this will start to dissipate overall, and this will push out for the rest of Sunday evening and into Monday morning. So taking a look again at our 7-day outlook, as you can see, so for Friday, we can, to recap again, 76 degrees being our high with a low of 45. Saturday and Sunday, pretty similar story, 57 degrees being our high and 51 for Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have a cold front coming through that will give us these mid-40s being our highs, 41 for Monday, 40 for Tuesday for Halloween. So if you are having Halloween plans or heading out for the day, it's certainly going to be a chilly one. So a jacket and layers I highly recommend. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we round out with a little bit of a dry out period overall with temperatures back in the 40s. Now back to John and Anna at the anchor desk.
Thank you, Julia. At least 27 people are dead and Acapulco, Mexico has been left in ruins after Hurricane Otis slammed into the coast Wednesday.
It touched down as a record-breaking Category 5 storm. Gustavo Valdez is there with a look at the extensive damage.
It's typically what people come to Acapulco for, the nice beach, the nice surf, but right now it doesn't take long to see what happened after Otis came by. You see all the debris. It's plants, it's palm trees, it's metal, it's brick. This is the front of those fancy hotels where people spend hundreds of dollars to come and enjoy some time off. It's completely ruined. Not only the front, look up. Look at what happened to this building. You cannot even see any proof that anybody could have been living there. We have reports that people were actually in these buildings when the hurricane came, but you can see the danger they were in because of the damage that buildings like this have suffered after Otis. And this is something that we see not only on these nice, expensive areas, the resort areas, the more poor parts of the city are also suffering. The people are telling us they are not getting help, they're not getting water, they're not getting food. We saw looting in some streets, in some stores, people were coming out. In most cases, they were just taking food, water, something to drink. There were some that took advantage of the situation and they walked away with big screen TVs, but mostly people were telling us they just needed something to get by.
United Auto Workers Union and Ford reached a tentative agreement on Wednesday night. The agreement sets the stage to return 16,000 striking workers to the job within days. The UAW President Shawn Fain said his group's moves earlier this week to target strike profitable factories of two other major automakers made a difference at the bargaining table with Ford. The union expanded its strike Monday at Stellantis' largest plant, followed Tuesday by a strike at General Motors' Arlington, Texas plant. The deal reportedly gives union workers at Ford an immediate 11% pay raise, and then pay hikes beginning at 25% over the next 4+ years. The agreement doesn't go into effect until 57,000 rank and file members at Ford vote to ratify the deal, which could take more than a week.
Microsoft's $69 billion takeover of Activision Blizzard is a done deal. It became official Friday after antitrust officials in the United Kingdom approved the acquisition. The Competition and Markets Authority was concerned Microsoft would be able to set cloud gaming prices with exclusive access to Activision's video games. MS eventually satisfied regulators by agreeing to let French company Ubisoft buy streaming rights to Activision games outside the European Union. Owning Activision Blizzard games, Microsoft exclusivity to games like Overwatch and World of Warcraft for its Xbox and other platforms. That doesn't necessarily mean the company will limit those games, though. MS reached a deal with Sony earlier this year that guarantees Call of Duty will remain available on PlayStation for at least 10 years.
Still to come, the MLB playoffs are set, and everyone agrees. Purdue's Zach Edey is an All-American. Don't go away. Sports is next, right after this quick timeout.
The Center for CSPAN, which is this organization, the CCSC,
What we do is we facilitate like a bunch of organizations, different programs for Brian Lamb, which is the founder of CSPAN. Anyone can be part of CCSC, whether it be through our various internships, our competitions, just to be involved, even like our student community meetings that we have every week. Anyone can go, you don't have to be communications or poli-sci. You just meet so many people, the connections you make is kind of crazy, the range that CCSC has. So yeah, it's just provided me so many opportunities to like kind of achieve the goals I have personally and forward to like whatever career paths I choose.
Imagine a world where Olympics and Paralympics are unified as one, and where all athletes at all levels have equal opportunities to play and perform at their full potential.
Athletics has been such an influential and transformative aspect of my life. So to me, RISE is about ensuring that every person that has the desire to participate in sport has the opportunity to do so.
This organization is about recognition. We believe in recognizing excellence where it is found, especially in Paralympic sports.
RISE is about driving change in our community and beyond. We hope that through our events and initiatives, we can galvanize people for our cause and inspire them to create an ever-growing network to help achieve our mission.
It's about connecting people of various backgrounds and who truly care about creating meaningful change together.
We develop projects and hold events to bring people together at the interface of inclusivity, sports, and engineering.
Our goal is to promote the equality of all sports and to improve sports performance and accessibility.
Join us so that you can have a major contribution in creating meaningful change.
Welcome back. I'm Keenan Taylor here to give you a rundown of this week's sports news. The Major League Baseball playoffs are down to just 2 teams. The Texas Rangers and Arizona Diamondbacks will square off in a best-of-7 series. The Rangers defeated their in-state rivals, the Houston Astros, in 7 games to become the American League champions. Adolis Garcia had a huge series for the Rangers, slugging 5 home runs and driving in 15 runs. He was named MVP of the American League Championship Series. In the National League, the Arizona Diamondbacks defeated the Philadelphia Phillies in a 7-game series as well. The Diamondbacks came back after falling behind 2-0 in their series. The Diamondbacks fought back and won 4 of the next 5. They were led by second baseman Ketel Marte. Marte slashed an incredible .387, .406, .581 with 12 hits, 4 doubles, a triple, and a stolen base. He set a franchise record with 19 postseason hits. Going to be interesting to see how many he can get to. Game 1 of the series is set to begin in Arlington. The Rangers begin the series with home field advantage. Both teams are very unfamiliar with World Series titles, as the Rangers are one of 6 Major League Baseball teams without a title. The Diamondbacks have only won 1 World Series when they defeated the giant New York Yankees 4-3 in the 2001 Fall Classic. Should be a great series. We'll keep you updated as the series progresses. And Purdue center Zach Edey was named a unanimous preseason All-American. Edey joins Marquette guard Tyler Kolek, Kansas guard center Hunter Dickinson, Duke big man Kyle Flipkowski, and North Carolina forward Armando Bacot as preseason All-Americans. Purdue opens the basketball season as the number 3 team in the country. Their first regular season game is November 6th against Samford in West Lafayette. Hundreds of competitors participated in the Minnesota State Cornhole Championships this past weekend. Along with bragging rights, reporter Adam Duxter shows us what else the winners got to take home.
With every shot and swish, it seems the popularity of this sport surges.
This weekend it's chaotic. It's fun. The whole state of Minnesota comes together. A lot of people. You know, today we have almost 200 doubles teams registered. That's 400 people.
At Ramsey's Adrenaline Sports Center, Steve Lamser is one of those cornhole fanatics. driving in for this weekend's state championship, all the way from St. Cloud. And his trek, shorter than some.
Yeah, hours. A lot of people will drive, and that's how serious people take it. They'll drive 4, 5, 6 hours. I've talked to a few people that drove, over 5 hours to get here.
Saturday's competition put teams of doubles into multiple brackets, the eventual winners taking home a cash prize.
And the competition is serious because the prize money is serious. You're looking at an ACL Pro, the American Cornhole League, finishing up an event from last night. The money he can earn is close to $3,000 just from this one game.
In its third year in Ramsey, the event's host says there's one big difference between this and the other sports they play host to.
So it's a unique sport in that athletic piece isn't necessarily as crucial. You still have to be good at what you're doing. But whether, again, you're 17, 18 years old or in your 50s and 60s, they can compete and play against each other and do just fine.
Compete, the operative word, but also a sense that when the match is over, it's still a celebration of sharing in the sport you love.
And coming up, a windsurfer and a whale go head-to-head. Plus, a spooky treat featuring Fast Track News live cast at the end of the show. Stay tuned after this short break.
Being involved in the 3-year program at Purdue made it easier to say to myself I could get done in 3 years. The 3-year program helped save me a ton of money. Not completing my 4th year, I would save around $30,000. It will give you an advantage, if anything. Doing the 3-year program at Purdue has shown me that I have motivation to do whatever it takes to get my degree.
Have to see to believe, as windsurfer captures a crazy collision with a flying whale. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
An incredible close encounter has left an Australian windsurfer with a whale of a tale to tell. In a blink or you'll miss it moment, Jason Breen, windsurfing off the coast of Sydney, is suddenly wiped out by a massive breaching whale. The slow-mo replay does justice to the amazing moment. But make no mistake, it was a scary moment as well, as the airborne collision left the 55-year-old sportsman trapped underwater. It was only when his arm strap snapped that he was able to make his way to the surface. Back on land, the folks at SeaWorld San Diego were blessed with a rare encounter of their own, the first birth of an emperor penguin chick in 13 years. Hatched on September 12th, the park says the chick is gaining weight steadily on a diet of fish and fish milkshakes. They're also asking the public for help in naming this little cutie. Emperor penguins are currently listed as a threatened species, and SeaWorld San Diego says they are the only zoo in the Western Hemisphere where the species can be found. Finally, since we're on the subject of rarities, take a look at what may be the world's most famous stamp. Called the Inverted Jenny, the stamp was famously printed upside down by mistake in 1918 and has since become an icon of collecting, appearing everywhere from the New York Times to an episode of The Simpsons.
The airplane's upside down.
This fall, one lucky bidder will get a chance to own a near-mint example when it goes to auction in New York City. Organizers say it's expected to fetch as much as $2 million. Not bad for a botched job. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
For this live edition of Fast Track News, I'm Erica Hong.
And from all of us here in the Fast Track studio, have a spooky weekend and see you next time. 1, 2, 3. Happy Halloween!